to be here. It's been ages. Well, it feels like it's been ages anyway.
It does feel like it's been ages, though.
I know. Where have you been?
House move, blah, blah, stuff. And then,
Okay.
the go live button late. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, because we weren't on time. Sorry.
Sorry.
We were doing a bit of secret squirrel business beforehand and wasn't watching the clock.
Yeah, no, talking and no clocks around. So that's always fun.
It happens.
It does. It does regularly, some would say.
Hmm.
What's new with you? What have you been up to?
Well, I've been working. I've been helping lots of people. I've actually had a flourish. This is happening. I'm not complaining, but it's happened a lot, probably in the last 3 or 4 months, where nearly every new client is trauma based. And like as I said, I'm not complaining because they obviously need the help. But it's like I've got this thing on my back that says, send me trauma.
Yeah.
But that's okay, because that's, as you know, that's one side of the business, and psychic, well, here I am for that. But yeah, I've actually been doing more counseling than what I have psychic stuff in the last probably 2 months. But that's okay.
Wow.
That's okay, because that's where people need me right now, and all those years of study, it's got to equate to something.
Right.
But yeah, it's been for others, not necessarily myself, but for others, it's been pretty much like an emotional roller coaster. And COVID certainly hasn't helped, because in some circumstances they haven't been able to leave and whatnot, and so their situation got worse, and that's pretty sad. But yeah, apart from that, I'm just being me.
I like when you're being you. That's my favourite form of you.
Yeah, just being me.
I love it.
Yeah, bit of fun.
Yes, these times are fun. Hello, everyone watching. That's just easier than going through 14 names. We've got Sari. Sari says, hello, gorgeous Miss Tique and lovely Eileen. I like that you start with that, to be honest. May I please have any guidance on my work situation? Any guidance on where to start searching for something else? Single mum and really desperate. Much appreciated.
Okay, so let's crack it off with the beauty. But yeah, I do like that. Hello, good. And oh, look at that. Some people are just so kind.
Yeah.
Okay, let me have it. What am I looking at? Guidance on my work and where to start searching for something else. Okay, where you start searching for something else, I know the obvious answer would be on all the internet sites that have jobs. However, that's always like a good thing and a good start. I want you to start looking at you. And I know that sounds a little bit weird, but when you're just looking for a job as such to get out of one situation to move to another, right? Because I feel that the situation you're in with work is rather yuck. And I actually want to say there's some conflict there as well. And there's some anger, there's some resentment, there's all sorts of things that I feel that's going on with the current role. And I also think that you're actually not happy at all. But if you just are looking for another job to get out of one, you're kind of going to fall into the same boat. I want you to look deep within yourself, whether you do that this weekend or over the next week or so, and just every so often, if you can grab an hour here or there and sit with a piece of paper or pen, close your eyes and keep asking yourself what you're really passionate about. What does Sari want to do? What are your passions? Where do they all lie? What feels good for you when you do a particular line of work? What is it that you want to do? Because when you start writing down all those sorts of things, within less than a week, you're going to read it back going, oh, yes, that's it. And the minute you find out what it is through writing and truly looking deep within yourself to work out what your passions are, this is what's going to set you on a journey of how you go about putting that passion into reality. Because as I said, if you just look for another job to get you out of one, you're really going to just put yourself in the same boat. You're going to be, less than happy within the first couple of weeks. So that is not the answer. And even if you're stuck with money, on those sort of scenarios, getting another job just to get paid money, it hasn't got your heart in it. Like it doesn't, to me, there's no substance in that. And I just think that you'd be really upset with yourself if you went from one, crappy hole to another one. Sorry for being blunt, but that's what I feel. And I'm kind of being directed in, do you know what? Why would you do that? If you're going to go from crap to crap, you might as well just stay in crap until you work out what your passions is, and then follow your heart to work out how you can put your passion into doing what you want to do. Because when you manifest it in a different way, it will come to you. Right. So if you spend a week or two when you're just jotting down things, when you've got a moment to just sit there quietly and ask yourself what you're passionate about, you'll kind of find that there's a couple of lines that will be different, but then all of a sudden a couple of lines will be very similar to almost exact. And that's when you hit the nail on the head with when you find out what your passion is. And that's when you go, right, that's my starting point. Now I know where to look or who to ask to get me into that position, because that's where you need to go. Okay. Because otherwise, as I said, it's just going from one crap to another. And look, I know, in your comment, you're writing you're a single mum and you're desperate. If you keep saying, and again, this is no criticism, if you keep saying that you're desperate, the universe will give you that. So instead of saying, I know you've said it for us tonight to do this, but in general, if anybody asks from this point forward, it's like, yeah, I'm a single mum and I'm finding my passion. I'm going to go, I'm going to go do it. Don't put out the words that you're desperate. Even if you feel like you are, please don't say that word anymore, because we don't want the universe thinking that that's what you like. Because sometimes in different scenarios where people go from one, say, narcissistic relationship to another one, it's because they've sat there and going, oh, I don't want narcissism, I don't want narcissism, I don't want narcissism. The universe says you don't want it, but you keep saying it. So we give you the same. So turn your mindset around, turn your talking to yourself around and say, I'm a single mum and I'm proud of that and I'm doing the best that I can, but I also need to follow my passion. That's when everything will come into play. That's when everything will fall into line, and you'll kind of wonder why you didn't do it earlier, but don't beat yourself up about that either, because that's just what's happened. So I hope that's helped you, my love.
Okay, too.
Oh, well, okay. I'll just be Eileen for a moment.
I was thinking, I'll say that. I'll say that too.
Well, we're obviously in sync.
Birds of a feather. Speaking of birds,
Yes.
find it. Here we go.
Flocking
Sky,
together.
the beautiful sky. Hope you've both been well. Would love if anything comes through for me tonight. Had a rough week and lost our bird, which is really special to us and missed greatly. I feel like this is going to be the weekend she comes home, trying to stay positive. Where's the question, Sky? It's probably at the end where it's gone ... Trying to stay positive. What do you feel about this bird?
I feel like this is going to be the weekend she comes home. I don't want to put a negative spin on it. I don't think that I actually don't think it'll be this weekend that she'll come home. I think I actually think it's horrible to say, but I actually think that she will draw it out a little bit more. It's almost like I'm let loose. I'm going to go on an adventure, and I'll come back from the adventure when I'm ready. So the little boys or whatever, they go, oh, I'm not going to go to school. I'm going to go on an adventure today, and it might take them a couple of days, and they might see sense and go back to school. So I know this bird means so much to you. Like, to me, it's like it's your world, and your world is falling apart because birds escaped and gone for a little fly. But I also truly believe, I'm not hearing anything bad from spirit. In fact, I kind of get, and please don't take me the wrong way, but I do get spirit laughing in my ear, sort of saying, hey, we all like adventures, and we all don't like being told when to come home, because we don't realize what we're doing, or we don't realize how it's upsetting someone else when we decide to go on a little adventure. So I just feel that, she's kind of gone for a bit of a flight. Do I think she's lost? I don't actually feel that she's lost and can't find her way back home. I feel that she's found somewhere. She's kind of like mingling this sounds really bizarre, but this is what I'm getting. That she's mingling, to say that she's not having a party, but she's mingling a bit. And when she's ready, she knows her path home. But I just don't think it'll be this weekend. And if it is, hallelujah to her, because she obviously didn't like a party so much. But I get told it's going to be a little bit longer than that. But don't start thinking the worst, because I really don't get told from spirit that that's what's happened. I do believe she's gone for a fly, and I do believe that she's just gone on a little bit of an adventure, but will come home. Okay, so I hope that you feel okay about that, and I hope you don't mind that I had a bit of giggle there, but it just spirit in my ear saying, "Oh my God, she's gone for a party. What's wrong with you?" I'm kind of like, "Wow, spirit's." My dad's really blunt tonight, but that doesn't surprise me because he's quite often blunt. But I thought he would be a bit more calmer than that, but that's the way he had it in my ear, and I had to pardon the pun, but I had to fly with that, because I'm always grateful for what spirit comes through with. So that, and trust me, my dad, if something was wrong, same with the human being, if something was wrong, he's the hard one that puts me on the spot to tell me in my ear. So with him being like that tonight, and with your question, wholeheartedly I fully believe in what he's saying.
She says, I feel like she's a bit of a laugh at us. I just hope she's okay and is safe in the weather that has been around currently. I trust, although she's young, that she will be okay.
Yeah, look, with the weather, so obviously is Sky a Victorian?
No, she's New South Wales.
Because
She's out a long way.
Oh, okay, because weather down there is worse. But if she's caught in a bit of weather, again, it's more about, she's found a spot that she's okay with. And there seems to be others around her. Like, I get 4 other birds around her, and I don't know whether the one that's gone for this little journey is a colourful bird with a red stripe sort of down its back, or not necessarily a stripe as such, but a red colouring down her back. But there also seems to be one other colourful bird with her, but then 2 other white birds. So, to me, she's in good company.
Yeah, perfect. Doing that, but just so impatient. She's always been a bit cheeky, so I feel like she's having fun.
Yeah. Well, that's what we do if we could escape, wouldn't we?
Yes.
I know.
I don't know. I get Eastern Rosellas talking to me now, so that's fun.
You get what? Sorry.
Eastern Rosellas talking to me.
Okay, cool.
The one I took photo of the other day was sitting in
Yes.
the bottom branch, just looking down, going, talking to me. Like, oh, good to see you too. Yeah.
I get a tawny frogmouth that is so thinks I know it's a he. Thinks he owns the place. My balcony, he shouldn't be able to sit on, but he does. And if he makes a bit of a noise. If I don't go out in the first 5 minutes that he's here, my God, the performance is ridiculous. And I think to myself, are you crazy? And then I go out there and he shushes up, and then I sit on the lounge out there, and then he hops on my knee, and I go, so what are we going to talk about tonight? And he has a good old natter, and I think, oh, good for you. He's a beautiful thing, though. And sometimes I get, messages, about not necessarily anyone else, but he always tells me if any of my family are in trouble.
Yeah.
And normally I ring people and say, well, I heard your name last night from my tawny frogmouth, so I have to check on you. And they go, are you crazy? But, at the same breath, I'm sitting there talking to you in a hospital. Well, there you go. So my tawny frogmouth is always good. I named him Fred because he drives me nuts. Fred.
Fair enough.
It's Fred.
Fair enough. I have to put this one up because it's just beautiful. Jean is gorgeous. My night just got so amazing because I'm watching you both.
Oh, isn't she a sweetheart?
She is.
Thank you, Jean. You are an angel within yourself, my love.
Very much so.
How nice is that?
All right. Karina, would I be able to have a reading, please? What do you see for me in the future? Please, thank you.
The future. How long is the future, Karina? How long? Okay. Well, let's not get too upset with her. Because we can't do that, and we don't. But having said that, Karina, I think things with you are just quite, in all honesty, quite stalemate. And I think that you kind of, I think that you kind of. Oh, she jumped back in. Oh, cute. Cute. I just get the feeling that you're stuck on something, and I don't think it's your work. I think that there's because I think you're busy enough as it is with work, and I do believe that you love your work anyway, but I just feel that something is going on that you feel stuck, or that you feel that you can't respond to. Now that's come through loud and clear, that you, those words that you think that you can't respond to. So that's really interesting. So having said that, only you can answer what you feel that might be. I mean, to get something that precise about, what you feel that you can't respond to, I want to say to you that you can put your two bobs worth into anything, but don't be frightened to. Okay, good old dad. You're not frightened of saying a word any other day, because that's who you are. And some people love it and some people hate it, but you're kind of a bit like me sometimes, that you have foot and mouth disease, and sometimes it just falls out of your mouth, and you don't do it in malice. You do it because it's truthful, it's honest, and other people around you fluff around and you just blurt it out, because you want to get to the point, which is where I sit in life. But I feel that whatever this thing is that you think that you can't respond to, I think that is also paving a way for you to add something further into your life. So, as I said, I know that you're great with work, and I know that you love your work. So, Spirit's not directing me at work. Spirit's not directing me to anything wrong with your partner. So that all seems fine there. But it seems to be something that you're yearning. So whatever you're yearning to put your hands to the grind, is again a saying that I've just heard in my head. If you think you can't, I want to tell you you can. Whatever that is. I don't think it's like art as such, but whatever you feel like, I have to come back to those words that I originally heard, that you feel like you can't respond to. So I don't know if someone's put out a challenge here as well. So this is my mind ticking over now on top of Spirit. So if someone has set you a challenge, if you don't think you can respond to that, then speak your truth, because you always have. But there's something involved in that. There's something that I think that you want to do, but you're a little bit frightened to do so. And again, that word frightened doesn't kind of sit with what I feel that your personality is like, because again, I feel like you just say it as it is, but I want you to go for it. I want you to put your foot down and kind of say, do you know what? I have a voice and I am going to say it. And if it is a challenge, well, then go for it. But I feel like it's something else that you want to introduce into your life, but you're just a little bit scared to. Please try it, because when you try it, you know it's going to be right. Oh, study, is it? Karina, why do you think you can't study? Why do you think that could hold you back? Maybe because your mind goes at 1,000 miles an hour per day. No, focus on it. How do I say this? If you curl yourself back a moment and say to yourself, I know I can do this. I just have to focus, because I lose. And look, I say everything with the greatest respect, but to me, it's like, oh, I lose focus very quickly, so I probably can't do that. Well, yes, you can, because you're telling yourself that you lose focus very quickly. So that's what you continue to say. So that's what the universe is going to give you. So start saying the other bit of, you know what, I'm looking forward to study today, because I want to do this. I want to embrace who I am. I want to learn more. I'm really looking forward to this. These are the things you've got to say. The minute you say, oh, I don't want to do this, you've lost it for the day. Again, it's a flick. I know Eileen will love this. It's a flick on your mindset. You say one thing, that's, you wake up and go, oh, I've got a headache. I don't want to do anything today, got a headache. And even your tone is bad. We all got a headache. But if you wake up and you've got a headache, you go, do you know what? I'm just going to go grab 2 Panadol and have a cup of tea. I'll be right. Then guess what? You will be right. But if you keep saying, oh, got a headache, you feel like you've got a headache beyond, and you don't want to do anything. So it's how you talk to yourself, the words that you say, the universe picks up on. And a lot of people think that's mumbo jumbo, but trust me, the more, my pet example, which I love, is when people bark their toe. and they go, oh my God, I'm clumsy. I'm so clumsy. Oh, I'm an idiot. I'm so clumsy. And that's all they say all day. And the next day they bark another toe and they go, see, I told you I'm clumsy because I've just done it again. You've done it again because you've told yourself how clumsy you are. The universe goes, I don't know why you like barking your toe, but let's do it again for you until you get the message. It's all about what you say about yourself. So, Karina, stop. I'm dyslexic. Well, that just takes focus, my love. That just takes focus. If you tell yourself you're going to read 10 pages and you're going to read them successfully, you will. If you finish page 1 and you go, oh, I can't really do this because I'm dyslexic and it's hard, then page 2 is going to be even harder. This is all about how you're talking to you. Stop. Talk to yourself the right way. Change some of that words up. You'll be really surprised. I've got an uncle that's dyslexic, and I had to virtually slap him in the head for him to stop saying certain things. And he was surprised how good he could learn new things. And his words first off was, wish I had known this 30 years ago. Where were you 30 years ago? Well, you weren't a pain in the ass 30 years ago, but now you are. So I slapped him around a bit, got him to think and speak differently, and he was able to study. So if he can do it, and he's 17, he's a pain in the neck, if he can do it, you can do it. Talk to yourself better, my love. You deserve it.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a bit of a lecture, wasn't it?
Oh,
Oops.
that's all right. They all love a bit of a lecture on these things. Do it all the time.
Anyone would think that we're perfect, but we're not.
Oh, no. So not.
No.
All right. So, Rebecca, speaking of birds, my dad recently had a magpie that has been visiting, like comes into the house and everything. My dad is not an animal person. I feel like there is a reason. Then down here she says most of that all over again, and then it says any insight. I feel like it's someone past reaching out. What do you
It
get
is.
at?
It's your dad's dad. So, no, dad's not a bird. That's not a bird person. Dad's not even a lizard person. Like he wouldn't like it if a lizard came in the doorway either. But having a bird come in as if the bird feels like it owns the place and probably knows where a few things are, that can be a bit weird for some people, and other people would embrace it. But the message to the virtually the message from what's this? Hoping for my dad that dad cook steak for. Okay. I'm hoping he actually looks at it a bit differently now. If you can have a chat to him, because what it is, as I said, like it's dad's dad, and he wants him to, he wants him to open up more and explore more instead of shutting himself down. Well, this is going to be a night for people talking to themselves the wrong way. So dad shuts himself off quite a bit. And I've got to say exactly what I hear. Apparently, Dad is quite stubborn, and normally it's whatever Dad says goes. But his dad is sort of saying, "Hey, I used that on you when you were younger, and you didn't really want a bar of it. So why do you think that you can do that as well?" Okay, so there's a bit of back and forth here. So, I guess what your dad needs to kind of learn from the bird is. Again, it's going to sound weird. Ignore the bird when it comes in. Don't give it a second look as if to say, what on earth are you doing in my house? You shouldn't be here. You belong out in the tree outside, whatever. But he can't ignore it to the degree where it's going to follow him further into the house. Okay. Because that's just going to annoy your father even more. Because he's so set in his ways. What I actually want to say, he's actually worried about the bird's going to wreck something is there a lounge close to where the bird comes in? Because I feel there's a lounge suite there where your dad thinks that he's either going to wreck something on that or he's going to sort of like poop along the way if he follows him too far in. Man, your dad is so picky. Sorry. But your dad's dad is saying, I tried all this on you when you were young and you didn't want a bar of it. So the kind of message is ease up, because Rome wasn't built in a day, and not everything has to be done your way to be built correctly. So I don't know actually what he does with his hands, because this is his own father speaking now. But yeah, he's kind of like, take a lesson from my life because of what you didn't like that I used to say when you were young. I hope all that makes sense. But yeah, in the bird is actually not going to it's not going to stop coming, even if Dad ignores it. It's going to continue on because that's Dad's dad virtually watching out for him anyway. So at one point, he'll just turn around and sort of like say something to the bird, and the bird will be going, all right, he's got it now. He doesn't need me anymore. And off the bird will go. So if Dad's willing to have a bit of a, oh, the bird pooped on his chair. Oh, well, there you go. That is so funny. Told you, Spirit just tells me whatever it wants to tell me in my ear, and I just got to blurt it all out. But that's really funny. He said, "Yeah, look, they were. It's a love-hate relationship, and it always has been because your granddad is stubborn himself, but kind of stubborn with humour. Well, that's how he presents himself to me anyway. But your dad didn't want to listen to what he was saying when he was young, but he feels that everybody has to listen to him now. So you can't have it both ways. So that's why Granddad is around to sort of say, pull your head in a little bit. Rome wasn't built in a day, and if I have to come in further and peck you on the foot, then I will. That was when it decided to come inside. Well, there you go. Like, who said I was a great medium? Oh, that's right, everybody.
Fair enough.
I had to throw that in there because that's just funny. Like everything I'm saying, she's just obviously you can see it before I can, just jumping in there with validation after validation, which is awesome.
That's it. That's exactly right. All right, let me just scroll here.
Oh, I love talking with Spirit.
Oh, it's good times. It's good times.
Well, sometimes you hear family secrets. I did hear that once about my mother, and I presented it to her, and boy, was that the wrong thing to say. But anyway, I proved it in the end, which is even better.
That is better. Where is what I was looking for?
You're very welcome, Rebecca. I hope that's given you some insight and a bit of fun insight about your dad and your granddad.
That is fun.
My daughter has not had the vaccine. Will she go back to work soon? Vivian, now, before anyone says anything, this is not a place for people to start saying vaccines are good, vaccines are shit, vaccines are good, blah blah blah. Right? This is not the arena for that, because everybody has their own personal opinion, everybody has their own health, and everybody has their own GP to go and talk to. So
that's correct.
I know a lot of people that have their names already popped up would not do that anyway, but I'm just kind of saying that as out of respect, because this is Eileen's page. So out of respect for Eileen, out of respect for myself, and out of respect for everybody that's watching, there's no need for any chat about vaccines being good, bad, or indifferent. Mm-hmm. Now, Vivian, your question is just about your daughter going back to work because she hasn't had the vaccine, and I'm not here to say she should have it, she shouldn't have it, blah, 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 because that's not my role either. What I want to say to you is she's going to find it very difficult because it'll be other people that are judging her. And I think that's what she's already come up against, because people aren't understanding the like her, whether she's got worries or concerns or whether it's just something that she thinks. And I don't need to go into that with you, Vivian, because it's your daughter and that's private. Whatever those are, again, she has her own mind and opinion. They're for her and they're for her to live with. But I feel that her work situation is they can't really mandate it, I don't believe. But I think they're going along with the norm. But if everybody else is, we've got to keep everybody safe. So you need to have it. And if you don't, then we don't have many days for you because you can't always work from home, blah, blah, blah. So I think there'll be a discussion. Now, what your daughter does from that discussion is up to her. But I also feel that if she decides to walk away from it, she is still going to find it difficult in other places. Okay? Because Larger companies, I believe, are sort of saying, we've got a big building, we've got a lot of people, like with retail and stuff, we've got a lot of people coming and going and whatever, so it's best that we keep everybody safe, so it's best you have it. There's all these conversations I've already had with people, and that seems to be the go with what a lot of people are saying. So I just feel that if she has the conversation with her, I want to say to you, her second in charge, not necessarily the person at the top. So I believe she'll have a conversation with the second in charge. There'll be a bit of toing and froing, but if your daughter just speaks the truth, without any raised voices or anything like that, I don't think she's a person that would raise her voice anyway. I don't believe she's that kind of person. But I still think there's still going to be a level of, but we need to do this because the majority of. And if they can't keep her satisfied with some work at home or whatnot, and if she throws the towel in, I think she'll find it just as difficult. So maybe there's a few more conversations that she might need to have just within herself. A few more conversations maybe that she needs to have with GPs or whatever that are more in the know than what we are. Then she might need to do that just so she knows exactly what avenue she's actually going to come up against, and then she can make her own mind up from that. But I don't think it'll be a quick thing. I don't think she'll be back to work anytime soon, and then I think things will change after that conversation. And if she decides not to, and they say that she kind of has to, and she actually walks away, I do think that she'll be kind of, I think things will be rough for her for about 6 to 8 months, if she goes down that path. But again, it's up to her, love. Even you, Viv, you can't force your own daughter to do anything. Like, she's got a mind of her own. She will, but she needs to resource things just so she knows where she kind of even stands financially. Because everybody's decision at the end of the day is for their own health, the health of others, but also if they can sustain their own income. There's a lot of people that, anyway, I'm not going to go into that side of it, but yeah, there's things do need to change, but she has to decide in which direction that she change, and whether she stays with that employer or tries to move on to something else. But I do think it'll be a little bit difficult, but I know, Viv, that you'll support her. And when she wants to talk about anything, always with an open mind, as I know that you are. But thank you for your question. Yeah, look, Viv, I knew she wouldn't raise her voice. It was more so that if she starts the conversation with the other person and they kind of like turn it up a little bit, that she doesn't match them. She just stays on the even keel. And I actually said that when I said it, I said she's normally not a person that raises her voice anyway, because I don't feel that she ever does.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. We are going to... Where did it go?
I don't know. You're at the controls.
I know. Who decided that was a good idea? Funny Gwen, I'm coming to you.
You're on the controls. Okay. What will the next month bring for me at work? What's her name, sorry? Gwenny.
Gwen.
Gwenny Gwen. When was the last time you had a chat with your team, Gwenny Gwen? When was the last time you actually valued the input that you give? When was the last time you did that? Have you ever actually stopped and thought, wow, I think I'm worth a bit more than what I bring to the party? Have you ever asked that question of yourself? Probably not. In saying that, I'm not saying you have to run in and demand a raise, but you can put some feelers out. You can start having little conversations. Little conversations will lead into, and I don't feel it though for about 4 months, but if you start with little, not very, what is the word? Not very blasé comments, but just little hints. I believe that your Well, you've got a few people above you. So I'm being shown 3. Yeah, I'm being shown 3 up the ladder above you. So your first immediate one will eventually get the drift and take that further, because you do more than what you're actually being paid for. I do feel that was the first thing I felt, actually, which is why, we're going down this avenue. But I believe that your next in line gets the drift, but also they make comments to others. So I don't know if there's there's not necessarily a team meeting coming up, but there seems to be a meeting with the big, my dad says hobnobs, I'll just say big wigs. But there seems to be an important meeting coming up in the next, it's actually not till 3 months. My dad was trying to tell me a month, but then my nan just overrode that. So it's not till another 3 months. And I think that's because of all the changes that are coming into play because of COVID and coming back into the swing of things, so to speak. But yeah, so that conversation 3 months, there's you and somebody else that hasn't been looked at for a while. So both of you are going to be called in, and 2 of you, not that you'll know about one another, but it seems that 2 of you are going to get a pay rise and get a substantial one, I believe, also too, because it's been because of the little comments that you might say, and they can't be aggressive, they can't be too much in someone's face, but they're just little hints. People start noticing what you do and the amount you do per day. Okay, so that's kind of like how do I say? If you don't put the little hints out, nobody's actually going to come to you from above. Like, none of the big hobwobs are going to come to you and sort of say, "Wow, you are so fabulous. We see that you do all this extra, and we don't want to pay you anything because you haven't said anything." Like, it's because big hobnobs need to be told, right? So someone needs to get in their ear to kind of say, "Do you know what? She does this, 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 and this," and really that's the job of 2 people, but you're only paying her 1 wage. So that's why I say somebody seems to say something, and the little, not necessarily Chinese whispers, because Chinese whispers normally end up wrong, but just little whispers go to the right ears, and then the right ears talk to people in this meeting. Okay, it's then that somebody goes, "Oh my God, really? Wow, she does all that? I didn't actually realize." And it's then that it's going to come across where you're going to get, and it's going to come in writing. It's almost like a whole new contract gets presented to you, and I want to say it actually comes with a new title, but the new title doesn't mean that there's more work. It's just the title represents everything that you are actually doing, because the title you got now doesn't kind of represent what you're doing. Yeah. So I see like more money coming across, and you deserve it too. Like, seriously.
Right.
About
So we've
time
got
someone
the reviews and new structure at the year, or early this year, early next year. One of those. What she said on the screen there.
I didn't see it, but anyway, does this mean a new role? No, it doesn't. It means that you're going to be paid for all the work that you do now, but the title that you have now doesn't equate to everything that you do. So more money, yes, it'll give you a greater title, but you're really not going to be doing anything different. It's just representing what you really are doing the whole way through, and you'll be paid accordingly for it, instead of being paid not so much.
That's it.
Have we got Michael here, have we?
Yeah, he asked about a magpie as well.
What is it with birds tonight?
I don't know.
I'm having my regular magpie coming to me. Any message around that I may be missing? What on earth would you be missing, Michael? Seriously. Apart from, okay. Michael's probably going to hate me now. I shouldn't have mentioned his name, but I did, because I kept hearing things in my ear, and I kind of wondered if he was here. But yeah. Okay. What Magpie is trying to do, and I have to admit, to others watching, I have seen a couple of pictures of a bird on Michael's walks. Didn't really know that you were sitting there communicating with bird, but that's okay. Has the magpie has the magpie come up near your right foot? That's the first thing I need to ask. And there's a reason why I'm asking that. So if you can jump in, that would be great. And if not, if it hasn't already, that's going to happen on the next time that you see the magpie on your walk. But it's trying to get your attention to the right of you, and I have to go to the right of you. Left foot. No, I'm going right, Michael. Argue with me. Going right foot. From where I'm sitting, it feels like your right foot. Because from where I'm sitting, I'm going that way. Depends where you're sitting as to, oh, I don't know. I'm not going to try and work that out. But anyway, whatever. I'm still going to use the words right. Have a look what's happening on the right side of you. And this is going to sound weird. On the right side of your life. So things that you may have had in the forefront of your mind to have started happening, to have started changing to a new Michael maybe, or whatever the case may be, probably about 2 to 3 months ago, that's flatlined. Okay, that's flatlined. And I think that you've taken part of that as a hit in the wrong direction. Okay, this is probably why you and I are going to banter about this left and right, because when you have an idea, or when you want to do something, you have it kind of all mapped out in your head pretty early in the piece, but the finer details aren't there. And sometimes that's what creates the havoc towards the end. And sometimes things don't finish because the havoc has come in and taken over. Okay. So it's Magpie is kind of saying, stay with me, but make sure that you think things through the whole way. And I need to go back to a certain person a couple of months ago. Think of things the whole way, because I don't even think that was thought through 100%. And I don't want to say too much. I think that you know where I'm going with that, Michael. I don't want to say too much because it's a live feed. But look at you. It didn't come last time, but a turtle appeared on my right. Okay, same spot. Okay. You're just embracing nature, Michael. But yeah, things. I'm saying everything with the utmost respect, but there's a lot of times that things are too quick up here, and when they're put on paper, they're not working out on paper. And then there's things that are going wrong because you can't work out why what's in your head is not working out on paper. And this is where the frustration comes in. But then you jump to assumptions, and then you jump to other things, and then you blurt things out. And half the time you've kind of got it all wrong in your head. Do you know what I mean? Anyway, Michael, I need to talk to you about that another time, because there's a few things going on that you believe, because I know you have a stubborn streak as well, that you believe in your mind, because you map things out in your mind. And when you believe in your mind that you're 100% correct and that it doesn't work out, you can't work out what. But sometimes you blame other people rather than reevaluating yourself. Does that make sense? Does it make sense, Mr. Michael? Because sometimes you do yourself an injustice, but sometimes you do other people an injustice, because in your mind you've created what you think is all your ideas, and then bang, it doesn't work out when you start putting it on paper. So I hope that makes sense, Michael. But yeah, we'll chat about it another time, because I think there's a few things going on with you that you can't seem to what would be the word, that you can't seem to resolve, and you can't work out why. But part of that is also, with respect, your stubborn streak, that you don't think it's you. Sorry.
Because Michael's stubborn.
Sorry? What did you say?
I said, is Michael stubborn?
Mm.
I'm not stubborn.
Oh, shit.
What?
Nothing at all. No, you're
Okay.
just a woman on a mission.
That's right. Don't get in my way.
Respectfully stubborn.
I,
Anyway,
yep.
that's okay. That's okay. We can all have, seriously, we can all have stubborn streaks, but if we admit it, that's the first thing that's wonderful.
That's
Okay. Frog mouth is back, but anyway, if we admit it, part of the problem is already solved. If we deny it and get anti-pantsy about it, then we actually pass that on to somebody else, and then they will actually go, "Oh, what's wrong with that person?" It's because we haven't kind of accepted it ourselves. But I believe everybody has a stubborn streak, but it can be used in a loving way because you think so highly of that opinion of yours, right? And when you believe in something that much, of course, it's going to sometimes come across a bit harsh. But if someone says, "Oh no, I don't know, I think you're wrong," instead of saying, "Oh, but no, I'm right," you can sit there and go, "Well, why do you think that I'm wrong? Like, what have I said that makes you believe I'm wrong?" Instead of getting all anti-pantsy about it, and most people get anti-pantsy about it and say, "Oh, I'm not wrong," and that's where it all humans fall apart.
yeah.
Just saying. Anyway, have we
Yes.
got someone?
Rowena says, "Look, I'd love anything from my dad, please, if drawn."
Okay.
And hopefully Rowena's still hanging about. Rowena, tap a message into the comments if you're still here.
Absolutely.
That's an Eileenism. Tappy. Type like a Tyrannosaurus.
Tappy tappy.
Yeah.
Did she
There
just? Oh
she
my
is.
god.
Whoa. Wow.
Too much is happening at once on the right side of my screen.
Yes.
I need to focus.
Categories around my family, been feeling left out around my dad things when it comes to sharing his things. That's why she wants input from her dad.
Okay. Rowena, the first thing I want to say to you is um, if you're feeling left out, why isn't that strong woman inside of you, why isn't she standing up and saying that something is not fair? Why is she sitting back allowing people to walk all over you? Your dad is a man of substance. Your dad, um, wow, your dad. You may not agree with this, but I'm going to say it as I hear it. Your dad treated everybody the same. Although I want to say to you, I know that you're going to jump at me and say that you felt at times that you weren't treated the same. But in his way, in his mind, it seemed like that he was treating everybody the same. And he comes across with that pretty clear. But he also says that you were a very strong-willed child, and you had no problem speaking your mind as a child. What's changed? If there's something that you want as a younger person, you went out and got it. I'm not saying you trod on people's toes when you did that, but you put forward what you wanted, and you weren't frightened of doing that either. But it seems now, is it because they're just their dad's things and it's a sensitive area? Is that why you don't want to upset anybody? But if your answer is yes, why are you allowing the others then to upset you? If you have more respect than the others, then so be it. But dad is saying that everything is supposed to be shared. It was written in a way that everything is to be shared, and he doesn't understand where that, I have to use his words, where that spunk fire in you as a child and as a teenager. Why isn't that there? Why is that kind of gone? Right. um I also believe that there is a wow, I don't know where we're going. I don't know where we're walking to. Somebody's home, because he's not saying who. Somebody's home has like a double or a triple wardrobe. Like it's like it goes along one wall, but I do believe there's three lots of like a mirrored, whatever you call them, doors, whatever. Now up the very top. Well, I'm not climbing a ladder, seriously. Okay, you climb the ladder, whatever. So on the left, if I'm looking straight at it, where the mirrors are facing me, if I'm looking straight at it, on the very top of the left-hand side, so that last panel on the left-hand side, up the top there seems to be a black box. I don't know whether it's an old jewelry box or a it's not big enough for a storage box. It's not big enough for a storage box. So it's wooden, but it's black. And I believe it's probably bigger than your average jewelry box, but it's not a storage box as such. I believe there's something in there that's yours. Okay, get up there and have a look. But I don't know. I don't know whose house that triple wardrobe is. And I say triple because there's three. It's massive, but there's three. There's three doors. Let's just call them doors. I don't know what they're called. Sliding, whatever they are.
Side by
Three
side.
panels. Three panels. Is that the way of saying it? It's like three panels against a big wardrobe. Okay. But if I'm standing looking at it, it's the left-hand side up the very top. And to me, because he was showing me to get up there, and I was kind of arguing with Dad, saying I'm not getting up a ladder because I won't get up ladders. But he was pointing me to get up and have a look, and I'm like, I'm not getting up a ladder. So I was kind of answering your dad at the same time as I was trying to hear what he was saying. But it seems to be there's something in there. I don't think anyone has taken any notice. I don't know if there's blankets or something on top of it, and whether it's just been pushed aside as if it's just a black box, because it is wood, so it may not be very attractive, but I believe there's something in there for you. And maybe when you find it, maybe you'll understand how everything is shared evenly, if that makes sense. So there's just something there. But I kind of don't want any. Well, I'm not lecturing. I shouldn't be saying that. I was going to say I don't want any arguing and whatnot. But yeah, it's just I don't want you to keep thinking that Dad didn't care enough about you, because he did. But that, as I said, that in his wording, this spunk wild child is the way that he's kind of saying. Why isn't she speaking up? And if others in the family are not listening to what you want, or what you want to have a chat with, maybe turn it around and say it differently. I've got something here. I went to his house today and got his clothes, and I wanted a cup, but they packed it up. My mum and my sister got it and wouldn't give me anything. Okay, there's I said I didn't want you to fight, but these words I have to say it this way because that's what I hear. Fight for what you want. Dad didn't want anyone to be better off than anyone else. He did things that it was even Stevens, according to him. If what they're displaying may be because of their hurt, when people are hurt, or they're still grieving, or they're angry, all these phases of certain things that you go through, some people don't know how to communicate properly. And sometimes they lash out with the wrong wording. And maybe it's up to you to kind of say, do you know what? That's not fair. You need to speak to me a little bit differently. Because when you can get your communications on a better level, things will swing around better than what you say that the relationships are right now. I just think there's a lot of hurt, there's a lot of anger, and I believe it's amongst probably 5 or 6 of you. I don't know who all those 5 or 6 people are. I just get thrown 5 and 6, and there seems to be a lot of people in the mix, and a lot of people that aren't speaking the way they should. So yeah, it just seems to be a bit all over the shop right now. But I know that you're upset, you're feeling hurt, and I know that you're feeling like that. You're never going to get anything. You will, but unfortunately, it's still going to take a little while for the communication barrier to get back to a bit of a more even keel. I think once that happens, things will be spread out a whole lot differently.
Yeah. And siblings have interesting relationships.
Yeah, because it also too depends on, everyone's different. Even trauma clients that I have or whatnot, everyone's different. Everyone handles things different ways. Everyone has their own way of dealing with things, and if sometimes people shut off, and sometimes people are just that angry or that upset. They just blurt out things and their tone is just horrendous. And sometimes they don't even know what they're, how they're coming across, because they're just releasing what's inside of them. And it is just all very different all the time. My dad changed his will and took 5 off some amount. Yeah, well, there you go. There's your 5. If he changed his will, well, there was obviously things going on that he picked up on, and he knew he was going to address accordingly. But I don't want you to. It's easy for me to say I don't want you to feel hurt, because I know that you are, but he doesn't want you to feel hurt, and he's saying that everything will smooth itself out. It's a matter of everybody kind of chilling for a bit, toning down, and everyone's conversation will change. Don't push your luck maybe right now. Just allow everyone to just come to some common sense. Sad, but it will turn out okay. It'll just take time, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And other people have other priorities as well, and other people don't know how to talk respectively. When you lose someone, some people don't know how to talk.
Exactly.
Because they don't know how it's going to be necessarily received. It's a part of someone saying, but you don't know how I feel. Even if everybody's in the same boat, if there's 5 kids, for instance, and they've lost a parent, some people, just because they're family members, not everyone is going to handle it exactly the same way. Some will handle situations better than others, and others will fall apart that you may have thought of the strength of the empire type thing, and they're the ones that, it just varies all the time. It just varies, and we can't control someone else's reaction, but we can control our own. Do you know what I mean? So if Rowena just needs to sort of sit back and maybe wait a little bit, well, then, yeah, I think that's the best thing to do.
Absolutely. All right. So, Karen, can you connect with Spirit for me, please? See if Brian knows when I will move, and if there's a windfall, as I found a farm up north I love beside the old farm I'm on at the moment. Thank you.
Wow, that's a bit of a mouthful, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
See if Brian knows when I will move.
I want some of Karen's baked goods.
Oh, okay. Is she a baker, is she?
Oh, she posts some photos sometimes that just look amazing, but she's in Queensland. A little bit too far to go.
Oh, okay. She can post them, can't she?
I mean, I don't see why not.
I received, I think it was it last year? Yeah, it was last year, just before Christmas. You know Donna Baxter?
Yes.
She bakes all the time, and I commented on, well, I need some of that. I'm in lockdown, because Northern Beaches was locked down over Christmas last year, and she sent me a box.
That's awesome.
A few biscuits and whatever were crumbled, obviously in transit, but she had like a box, and had like, baking powder, or not baking powder, paper, whatever, on the bottom, so whatever, and obviously it was all laid out correctly, and there was a few little cakes, there was biscuits, there were all that she'd made. Oh, I got very excited.
Okay, for anyone who wants to do that, my address is
Correct. Yeah, correct. We need some of that. We need some of that. Woohoo! Because we don't. Well, you can see how skinny I am. Yeah, righto. Moving on. Anyway,
I've walked 85 kilometres this month.
good for you.
Yeah. That's all.
I walked around my unit and my back caved in, so good for you. Anyway,
right?
We got anyone on the Northern Beaches that's a good back massager? Hit me up, for God's sake.
Her address is.
Yeah. My back is broken. Seriously. I need help. When I walk down the stairs, I feel like I'm an invalid that needs a bloody walking stick, and I can't have that. That's not going to go with the caftans or the personality. Seriously. So we need to get that sorted. Anyway, no more about my back. Brian, getting back to Brian knows when I will move. And if there's a windfall, has found a farm up north I love. Okay. Windfall, I can't, Spirit never shows us any lotto or lottery or whatever else, horses, whatever. We never get to, because that goes against the grain of everything we do. So we never get told that, and if we did get told that, none of us psychics would have to work. We'd all be as rich as. So that's that's not. So I can't tell you about any type of that windfall. However, what I do see is that no, it's not going to be this Christmas. It's too soon. Okay, I have to go a year out because I don't believe it's Christmas this year. And now I'm getting the shake of the head from my dad saying, no, it's too close. So by Christmas next year, even though what you've seen with the farm up the road, it's not going to be sold overnight. It's not going to disappear. In the area that you're looking at, okay, we're getting very descriptive now. In the area that you're looking at, too many families are already short for money. So no jump in and take what you believe is yours, if that makes sense. Okay. So as I said, I can't, anything to do with any gambling. I have no idea on windfall of that. But what you're doing right now, and what you in the next 6 months, what you're doing work wise, and because I believe there's a couple of different things that you do. Is there a windfall coming from other people engaging you in something else? Yes, there is. But I wouldn't call it a massive windfall that you can go buy property with. Like, I wouldn't call it to that degree. But every week as of the next month, there seems to be more and more hitting your bank account. So I don't call that a windfall because it's not a lump sum. But what I do see is that things change for what you're doing now, and you're going to be doing more of that generates more income. So more money is going to hit your bank account. Now, that extra that hits your account every week, or no, it is every week, isn't it? I'm sorry, I'm arguing Spirit. I wouldn't know if it was fortnight or weekly, but I still hit weekly. Put that aside. Like, pretend you don't get it, right? Because if you put that aside and let that just build on its own, then that creates a whole new account sort of thing that you can then really, like, seriously look at this farm up the road. Okay, or is it up the road? It's up the whatever. But yeah, so I don't know why Brian has got a smile on his face. I don't know why he won't tell me what you actually do right now, because he wants to keep certain things to himself. And I just don't know why he wants to do that. But it's almost like, if you have, from where your house is, and I guess because you're talking about farms, okay, enough to maybe buy a mobile home as on disability pension now. Well, why would you be getting more money? That is rather odd. Let's buy a mobile home as on disability pension right now. I know it's a live feed, and I hope no one important, let's say, is listening. But is there something else that you do that people can insert? I want to say, do you know what I mean? Where that can be put aside. Do you know what I mean? Because if you're on a disability pension, you're not gonna get extra money every week, if that's the income. But is there other things that you are capable of doing that can generate? Because I keep seeing that there's extra coming in every week out of something that you do. So yeah, you've got to start looking creative. You've got to start thinking outside the square. You've got to clear your head and work out what that is. Because Eileen said that you bake, or cook, or whatever the case may be. Maybe I don't want to lessen what you do, as in saying maybe it's like, the kids' bake-offs at school as such and they sell it, but something with more substance than that. Because I feel that whatever it is that you actually already can do, and I don't know you, but Eileen has said you're a good cook, but something else needs to come in. Because when you start getting creative and when you start building on your passion, let's just put aside whatever the reason why you're getting the disability pension. Like, let's just put that aside for a second. When you work out what you can do and what you can, the way I hear it, what you can throw together becomes then a parcel of something that someone else can't do, if that makes sense. So the readings where I feel it's my bath salts as want to be an online business. Well, hey, you don't want to do it anymore because you're just going to do it. There's no want, because if I'm already seeing extra coming in per week, it's already happening. You need to get on the ball with this. You need to. So it's not that you want to do this. You need to start thinking about doing this, because Christmas is around the corner. And if you already do bath salts and make I don't know, jars or fancy or whatever the case may be, these need to be sold as presents. Christmas. Don't know why you're not already doing it, Karen. Stop baking for a half a day and do bath salt. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But, you can do a bit of both even. You do a bit of both. Because at the end of the day, there will be other money coming that you can, not necessarily with this, but with something else that you can put together to achieve the goal that you want to already achieve. It's there for the taking, but you have to do some hard yards to get there. And I say that with respect, okay? You need to just do this. And she's written something else.
Yeah.
I have a range of scents and packets just after a name for them. Okay, so tonight, when you go to bed tonight, have a pen and paper by your bed, and as you put your head on the pillow, you sit there, or lay there, sorry, and virtually say, I want a new name for my business. I want a new name. I don't care that you don't want to call it a business, but for the exercise, I want you to call it a business. So I want to come up with a name for my business. What matches this? Well, just run it through a few ideas in your head and see what pops up. And if you wake up in the middle of the night with a single name or two words put together, write it down, then go back to sleep. And then tomorrow, look at it again. The name will come to you, but you need to put it out there to the universe, which is why I said that it's the last thing you do when you lay in bed tonight, or if you want to just do this tomorrow night, it's up to you. We can't tell you what to do, when to do it, but that's what you virtually say to yourself. It's the last thing before you put your head on the pillow, because spirit will come to you through the night and you will hear either a single name or two names. I'm leaning towards two names, but it will rhyme. It will be like a catchphrase. And you'll just get it throughout the night. You'll wake up and you go, oh, that's it. And that's what you'll roll with. Okay. So I hope that helps. And please let us know. And if you're saying that you're doing packets, because I heard from spirit, jars. I heard that word jars. If you can, I don't know, is eBay the best place? I don't know. Or even your, what do you call them? Your op shops. If you can go and find maybe even some of that old-fashioned glass, because that was quite thick, and start making the jars look nice. Whether they don't always have to have a lid, but then you would have to do something because it's salts as such. But yeah, I did hear jars. I know packets for singular use would be great if you can do like a basket or a pack with that, where people have got, say, maybe some different fragrances or whatever the case may be. But also too, jars can be used as virtually an ornament in someone's bathroom. It can be attractive in someone's bathroom, more so than packets. So if you can kind of have a look at that as well, as that would even be a bonus as well. That'd be awesome.
She's going to start looking for jars.
Okay, cool. Because op shops, eBay, you don't have to buy a stack at first. You can, if you find one and whatever, you kind of build up to, if you ended up having, I don't know where you live, ended up having like, Christmas markets or something or other. I mean, I don't know, or can go on to Easter or whatever next year. But, it's more about building what is already there, but making it bigger, and putting your heart and soul in it, because it will reward you. It will reward you. So names first, and then build a Facebook page after you've come up with a name, and invite everybody to it, and have some, I don't know, pictures of what you've already done, and tell people what you're going to be doing and all that sort of stuff. Keep people interested. Do something along that line as well.
Absolutely.
Cool.
And just do it.
Correct. So you've heard the non-stubborn one. Just do it.
I'm not stubborn.
No, I didn't
I'm
say
not
you. I said the non-stubborn.
I know, but there was an air about it. You had a tone.
Me? Jeez.
Right?
Yeah, right.
All right. So Catherine is trying to make, I know I just pulled that down, but it's like this long. I need to make 2 decisions. My gut says I must let it go. Don't punishment to him. My parents' advice is I must continue. Always he will keep taking advantage. I don't want to do what he did to me back to him. I'm not that person. He's doing stuff to me so he can gain control. I don't want to do that. I want to have a free spirit. Like, it's really long. Screen moved. I've got my stuff together and I'm not like him, which right now is not true, but those 2 decisions are important. I'm stressing. What should she do? Wow. Don't give me that look. I see the looks.
Well, the first thing that comes to mind is, you don't have to do back to him what he's done to you, but why are you even mulling this decision over? Like, if someone has wronged you, if somebody is speaking to you the wrong way, if somebody, that word just highlighted my head, someone wants to be controlling, hello, why are you still there? The simple fact that you wrote controlling is that somebody is trying, or already has part thereof, control over you. Nobody has the right. You're not a 5-year-old child that wants, a parent to tell them what to do, and that, you're not 5. I mean, parents will tell you what to do until a certain age, but nobody has the right. When you're an adult, nobody has the right to control your decisions, to control you as a person, to tell you what to do or what to say or how to dress or how to look, blah, blah, blah. The list goes on. I have no idea why you want to be in a relationship where someone is controlling you. Okay. The first part of that is that the other word that you used there was you wanted to be a free spirit. Well, a free spirit needs to escape or get away from the control for a start. A free spirit is somebody who wants to do as they want to do, say things that they want to say, go places that they want to go. They don't normally need permission from anybody. They don't necessarily need somebody with them, all the time. I mean, I go to a lot of places on my own. Why? Because I want to. I don't have a partner, but if when I was married, if my partner said I couldn't do this and I couldn't do that, it'd be like, F you, I want to do it, so I'm going to go and do it. If you're not coming with me, tough. A free spirit is all about, the word in itself is like, when anyone has a free spirit, they are fun loving, they are approachable, they have gratitude, they have calmness, they have joy, they have a loving sense, they have empathy, they have so much. And they really are. I mean, the olden day pictures of somebody as a free spirit was like a fairy dancing in a garden, or tiptoeing over flowers, or whatever the case may be. If if you want to be a free spirit, then you need to be a free spirit. Okay, that's a bit late for that to go on, but that's okay. She's just said that she's not with him at the moment. He's making court battle, don't want to let it be. Well, if he's making a court battle, unfortunately, you have to show up and say your side of the story. You can't, if you don't show up, it's the court will say, well, okay, whatever he says is right, and they will run with him. You have to stand your ground. You can't be a free spirit until you tell the truth. And if you have to tell it to a court of law, then so be it. That's where you go and say it, right? So go and be that person and tell the truth, right? Tell the court whatever he says, you let them know what your side of the story is, because everybody sees everything in a different way. Some people stretch the truth, some people actually don't see it the way someone else sees it, but you need to be in that court. You need to be able to answer the questions that are being submitted to you, whether it's by him or his lawyer or whoever the case may be. If it's different to what he says, the right people will see through.
That's right.
There was a long time that courts were a load of crap with not listening to both parties and just making an assumption early in the piece. But now they're bound to. They have to listen to both parties. They have to see what evidence is produced. They have to take every single thing on board. And this is what you need to do, because if you don't, they are going to take his word as gospel. They won't even ask for evidence. They'll go, okay, she's not here, so she's not saying anything, so he must be right. And they won't waste any more time on it because you haven't bothered to go in and say your bit. This is what you need to do. You need to stand your ground. You need to go in there and say everything that you need to say. And it's only after that that you'll be released from that. And then you can go and be that free spirit that you want to be, because you won't have the pressures of that anymore. You won't have somebody telling you what to do. The court might make instructions, but he won't be able to make instructions after that, because he'll have to we'll work with whatever the court says. But you'll be able to do what you want to do, and it has to come to an end, and it will come to an end, and you will be that free spirit. But there's a little bit to go, as long as you turn up and say your side of the story, because that is so very, very important. They have to hear both sides of it to make their decision. And then you can go and be that free spirit, because I know you have empathy. Part of me actually wants to say, no matter what he's done, you still feel sorry for him. And that's okay, because that is your empathy part of you. But you can't feel sorry, like the real meaning of, you can't feel that sorry for someone who has tried to control you and has tried to change you from the human that he probably fell in love with in the first instance, right? So it's a case of just come back to being you, and then you'll be allowed to be that free spirit that you want to be.
Perfect. Is that Danny?
Danny, what are you at crossroads with? Because I feel that you're thinking the wrong way, and okay, I see a path of wrongdoing because you're not thinking straight. I'm not saying you're going to do anything wrong. Don't get me wrong with that one. I just see when I see a path like that, it's like that things will go wrong every step of the way, because you can't. You're not putting all your eggs in one basket. You're not looking at the certain things in the right way. Things things don't seem to be okay. I've got two people in my head. Not enough room for two right now. Because I've still already got my nan and my dad in there, so I've actually got four in total, and everybody wants to have a say. And everybody has different things to say, which is really bizarre. So, getting back to the crossroads, because you feel like you're stuck, it's like you've, again, with respect, it's like that you've lost focus, because you feel like there is no better road to take. So when someone's in crossroads, normally they've got a decision to either go right or go forward, or whatever the case may be. You seem to be standing there going, I can't go anywhere because I'm just stuck. And to me, that means that you've just lost focus in where you actually want to go. Because when you think about where you want to go, you may not be able to get there today, tomorrow, or the next day. But you have to have that. I don't want to call it a dream. You have to have that in your head, at least a little bit of a spark about where you want to go. Because unless you put that in your head, you're going to stay in that crossroad, and it's going to feel like a mountain rather than anything else, because you just seem to not be able to even put one foot anywhere. Like, so there's not 1 foot forward, there's not 1 foot to the side, there's not even 1 foot to the back. It's like you're locked in cement. Okay, and that's what spirit shows me. It's like that, you've got cement up to your knees that you actually can't move, but you're not allowing your mind to sort of go, hang on a minute. Yes, I'm stuck. It doesn't matter what I'm stuck with. I need to work out where I want to go, because it's when you work out where you want to go first, the unsticking starts, right? So the cement will ease. But right now, all you can focus on is that you have no idea which way to look. You have no idea which way to turn. You don't know how anything's going to work. But by putting all those thoughts in your head, you're digging yourself in deeper. It's hard to know which direction to take. There are risks either way. There's always going to be a risk in everything we do. Every single thing we do is a risk. It's very much stalemate situation. Well, where's the leap of faith? What's the worst that can happen? A bird sits on a branch. It doesn't say, oh, what if I fall? It says, what if I fly? Like, the bird can be heavier than the branch, but it's not frightened the branch is going to break. It just sits on there and perches itself on anyway. But it's more about, what if it flies, not what if it falls. So, and even if we take a fall in life, people have got to just stop and take. I'm getting on the bandwagon now. When you take a fall in life, there's 99% of people take that as failure. In my world and in Eileen's world, I think I speak for her as well when I say we don't look at it as failures, we look at it as lessons learnt. Because if we didn't go through it, we wouldn't know better for next time, right? So it's a case of, I didn't fail at something, I just now know that's not the right path for me, but I tried it. So the difference in saying it that way is, oh, God, I'm a failure, I'm hopeless. As to, well, I tried it, wasn't really me, but I'm glad I tried it, I learned something, but not really me, now I need to move on to something else. There is a difference even in the tone of voice when you tell yourself you're a failure, or you told yourself that, it just wasn't right for you. This is where people have got to change their thought processes. And if you're thinking that turning right to going forward, turning left, or even going backwards is all wrong because it's such a stalemate, you're putting yourself into that position. You're telling yourself there is nowhere to put your foot. You need to put your foot somewhere to take that leap of faith, because if you don't, you're never, ever going to know. Right? And the minute you move your foot either way, if you fall, you go, well, I won't use my left foot anymore because I just fell, learned that lesson. That's all you say. It means that you use your right foot next time. Okay? There is so much. Yeah. Just what now? Only you can answer that, my love. We can be the best psychics in the world, but what your true passion is, only you know what that is. And if you have had stumbling blocks along the way, well, maybe you've looked in the wrong direction. And maybe that's why it's showing you the stumbles all the time. If you've had falls because you've gone a different avenue, then that avenue isn't right for you either. But you've got to come back to, if I've tried this and it didn't work, that's not for me. I'll go over, I thought this was my passion, I'll go and try that. That wasn't for me either. They're not failures. You're trying to work out where you best fit. Some people just automatically know what their role in life is or what job really suits them to the ground. Other people need to explore so they know what they're good at. So you're somebody that needs to explore. So when you try something, then you go, okay, didn't really like that and really wasn't suited to me. but I'm not a failure. I just now know that that's not for me. I just need to find something else. But instead of doing all the hopping all the time, like that first lady at the very beginning of this feed, it was, if you sit with yourself and only ask yourself what you're truly passionate about and start writing down what you hear, that's the avenue that you should be going. Because anyone who's really passionate about what they do will excel at it no matter at what cost, no matter how many hours they put in, and they never seem to age because they love it. But if you do something that's mundane and you go, I'm going to get up and go to work today, wow, well, yes, you're going to hate it, but yes, you're going to age too because you don't like it, right? It's never going to do you any good.
Exactly.
Okay. There are no major warnings in either direction. Well, Spirit doesn't tell me that if you take a step to the left or take a step to the right or forward or whatever, that you're going to fall down a mountain, right? Spirit is virtually saying to me that you need to choose the direction you want to go, but you need to sit with yourself to work out your passion. Because if you just keep taking steps, you will start to believe that they're all failures, and they're not. They're lessons learned, but you're not concentrating on yourself to work out what you really want to do. Because when we do that, sometimes we go, well, I want to do that, but wow, it's impossible because I've got no finances. You then start to go, well, how can I actually make that happen? Is it about talking to the right people? Is it about finding out if TAFE or whatever have got any free courses? Is it about, you find ways to do it? But as long as you know what you're passionate about, you will find ways that you can achieve it. If you start looking at all that and it's another year off, then you spend a year learning about it and learning what to do the best way you can. So it will be good for you by the time you're ready for it. Do you know what I mean? This is what, there's many psychics in the world that just say they're psychics and they'll just pull a card and that's a psychic to them. That's not their passion. That's a quick buck. If you're passionate, I mean, Eileen and I spend hours and hours of other studies and all this sort of stuff because we build different things onto our businesses because we know there's a million psychics in the world. We know we're good at what we do. We don't have any ego about it. But what we do is we add in different things that we go do training for. Like, I spent 8 years studying, counseling and stuff. So my other side of the business is counseling people through many, whether it's anxiety, depression, breakups, trauma, whatever the case may be. But that took me 8 years of study to be able to add that to my business. I couldn't just put a name up there and say that I could do it. I knew I wanted to do it, but I also knew that I had to have qualifications to do it. You don't have to have qualifications as such to be a psychic. I mean, I was born psychic and I've been doing it for many, many years, but it's proof, even tonight with the validations that come through when I, connect with spirit, all sorts of stuff. I don't need to pat myself on the back for that. But 8 years of study later in life was a bit of a hard yard, but I knew that I was cut out for it. I knew I wanted to add that to my business because it helps other people. And I love helping people in general. So when you find your passion, you will find ways of how to add it into your life, how to bring it forward into your life, and you will make it happen because that's where your passion lies. And I just feel with you, sweetheart, that you've taken, yes, I know the way that you worded it before is you've fallen over, like come down a few towers as such, but they're learning curves. They're not a failure. It's whatever has happened to make you feel that you've come down the tower as such. It's taught you something in life that you have that lesson learned forever now. And you now need to just find where your passion is, and that's when you kind of have that light bulb moment, as Dr. Phil would say, and go, do you know what? Man, I never thought of that till I actually stopped and asked myself, and this is now what I want to do. And then you'll find ways to make it happen. And I do believe, virtually within the next 18 months, you'll be a very, very different person because you'll find your passion, you'll find your calling. And, I dare say that, hopefully that you'll let obviously Eileen or myself know, and to maybe even guide you when you think that you found your passion. We're always going to be here. So I just hope that you'll do that. And thank you for your question.
Awesome. My question back at people when they ask that is usually, what's the dream?
Yeah.
I'm at a crossroads. Okay, what's the dream? Because anyone can go and get a job.
They
You could turn
can.
up at police tomorrow and get a job.
They can. And if they don't, if it's not their passion, and I said that to that other lady, that if you
Yeah,
just
that's
go
right.
and get a job, because you need finances, you're leaving. What do I say? You're leaving crap to get crap. Like, you may as well stay in crap until you work out what your passion is, and then go for that. And if you need to stay in crap for a little bit longer just so you can get to your passion, you don't need to move from crap to crap. You just stay in one, but you have your focus on the passion.
Yeah.
So the crap one, you end up taking on board the mindset of, I'm going into work, I'm picking up my pay because my pay will help me establish my passion.
That's right.
And when you start talking to yourself that way, it's not so hard then to go to the crap job, because you're telling yourself you are actually only going there to collect your pay to get onto your passion.
Yeah.
Instead of going, oh, stuff this, I'm going to throw the towel in because I hate it, and then sit there going, oh, now I've got no funds to even think about my passion. You've got to work out how to talk to yourself to enable your own mindset. If we tell ourselves every day we don't want to get out of bed because we've, as I said before, I've got a headache or I feel like shit or whatever, we won't. We just won't, because we'll talk ourselves into it. The mind is an extremely powerful thing. Your
Yes.
subconscious will pick up on anything negative in your mind, and it will roll with it before you have a chance to even pull it out. Do you know what I mean? So be careful with how you talk to yourself and your wording, because the universe and your subconscious work hand in hand with that.
Yeah. I've done a few sessions this week on conscious thought processes.
Oh, have you? Well,
Being aware of them.
there you go. There we are in sync again.
Not
It's a good
us.
thing. Well, it's a
Yeah.
good
Well,
thing,
it
because
happens a lot.
mindset is very powerful. And you know, I know in the past, like many years ago, I would have been one of those people that said, I can't do that, that's too hard, for whatever reason. And you only need to say it 3 times and you've ruined your whole day with it, because then you can't change it. After 3 times, it seems to be embedded in your subconscious. And no matter what you do, you kind of can't change it as such, because 3 times it'll just embed in there. And but now I help everybody flick that switch, because it is so very, very important. And I think it's also, the years that I've done in counselling, like studying certain things of the brain and the power of the brain, and how what connects with this and all that sort of hoo-ha. It's more about, I truly get how something will get stuck in your brain. And some people say, but it's and Eileen, I'm not saying it's you, but some people might say, but even if it's stuck in your brain, you just change your mindset and it'll be okay. Sometimes if it's embedded in your brain, it's deeper and harder to flick that switch, because your
You need
brain
to go
doesn't
back
believe it the first
before
time.
it got there.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it can take longer than just flicking the switch, but if it's a quick thought, you can flick that switch straight away.
Yeah.
So there is a difference. So the mind is extremely powerful.
100%. Yeah, we've been up for an hour and a half.
Well, it always happens.
It does. Hate a chat.
It's never a short lie with us, but that's the way it goes.
That's okay. That's okay.
And people had some really deep and meaningful questions, and Spirit was very generous with saying a lot of things in return.
That's exactly. Alison was worried that I hadn't seen her comments, and so I just want to throw this one up at you, and then we're probably going to be done. I'm curious.
What is this? Mystique derails on this White House derailing gate. I don't understand that. A direction, location, suburb, when. I live 5 k's from Penrith. Is there a catalyst? What do you believe is my forte with deep? Wow, Alison, you need a whole reading session with all of that. I'm not derailing from any type of house. I don't know what the White House blue railing is, though. I would have thought that would have been the opposite. I would have thought the railing or the gate would have been white. but did I say that at some point that it would be a white house with blue railings? Direction, location, suburb. When you live 5 k's from Penrith. I keep hearing north. I keep hearing that you're going to go north, and I don't hear that you're going to go further out west. I keep hearing that you're going to go up rather than out. I think I've heard that in the past too, from memory. I don't remember everything I bring through from spirit, but I seem to remember something about not going out any further to where you already are. Not that I know too many places north of or even west of Penrith. I don't know that area at all. But I keep getting shown that you're going up rather than out. So I don't know from Penrith where that would take me, because I don't know any suburbs out that far, so I don't know. But if I was going to say going upwards, then I would be leaning more past the Hawkesbury River, I would imagine, because I'm getting shown a river, but I'm getting shown a crossing to the other side of the river. So I don't know if that is actually north of Penrith. I don't know. I can't even get my bearings, but I keep getting shown a river, but there's a crossing over the river, and there seems to be low density. Like it's not a suburb with a lot of buildings. It's very quiet. But I wouldn't call it a farm either, but it's very quiet. So there's not hustle and bustle. There's none of that going on, but I do see it on the other side of the river. Do I have a time frame? I think there's an issue around finances. Like if I want to say today, then there's issues around finances. So I don't actually see across a river business. I actually don't even see that till July next year. I keep getting shown J, but I don't even think it's June. I think it's July. I don't even hear June, so I'm leaning more towards July, and I just keep getting shown this river all the time. But in saying that, there's also, I don't know if you know people that actually go on they don't own a boat as such, but I don't know if you know anybody that goes on those river cruises, because they seem to know where I'm talking about with this property, if that makes sense. So I hope that helps. But there's a lot there. I'd love you to have a complete session where I could sit there and pull cards as well as listen to spirit, because there's just so much involved in that. But I hope that sort of thing also answers some questions as well.
Awesome. Then one other quickie.
Nothing's a quickie in my life. Come on.
Oh, come on. You can do it.
I don't even like quickies, let alone anything else. But anyway, let's not go there.
I was talking about this little question here. What are you talking about?
Just my brain goes crazy. I've got too many spirits in my head. They're not even looking like they're packing up either. I think they're going to be there for a while, but that's okay. Until I throw them out. Curious about career. I offer 3 main services. Which service is the one? Okay, the one that I become renowned for. What an interesting question.
I know, that's why I pulled it up.
Because you have, okay, I have to say it this way because I don't know what your services are, so I have to say it this way. If I was to line your 3 services up in the way you thought was best, so you yourself, Louise, if you put first, second, and third in your order in the way that you feel, I want to lean then to number 2. I don't think that you give number 2 the value that it deserves. I think what you've put as number 1 takes more energy where the other 2 have been depleted as such. But I think that 2 is a good even match for where you need to be right now. So now that I've said that, do you want to jump in and tell me what the three are?
And then which one's number two? Because I was going to say two as well.
Well, I want to know what number two, in her way of thinking of putting them in order, what number two is, because I strongly believe that number two, she's not giving it as much as not necessarily what she should, but to what others would like to have as such, where I think that she would throw in more, I don't even want to say the word power, but it just has something connected to it. So Louise, can you tell me what order you would have put them in? And because I want to know what number two is, and Eileen was looking at number two as well. Counselling, coaching, training, and development. Okay, so coaching. So if you're a great counsellor, and I believe that you are, and you're a good trainer, then why aren't you doing so much with coaching? Why, in your advertising as such, why aren't you throwing coaching out there? What is it that's holding that word back from some of your stuff? So I think that you're known. I think that you're known as a very good counsellor, and people lean on you for that. And I also believe that you can get up and hold seminars and whatever very, very successfully. But why has coaching taken a bit of a back step? Because if you're putting them at it, I saw number two as lacking, that you weren't giving it the value that it deserved, where more people were going to be wanting it. Can you answer that question for me? Maybe? Please? We'll just sit here holding our breath.
Yeah. I'm not holding my breath. You're holding your breath.
No. Not quite.
That wasn't in the contract.
It was coaching as number one, then I swapped to counselling. Okay. So that tells me that you felt like that you weren't as superior as a coach to what you are as a counsellor. And if I do say everything with respect, and maybe there was a time that people actually needed, because I'm finding it now that people need a hell of a lot more counselling than what they would do coaching, because I do both as well. But I seem to lately to spend a lot of time with counselling. But that's kind of in what everyone's going through right now. Okay, but I felt the stars align. Reasons as an EAP counsellor. Okay, well, getting clients through EAP is great, because it kind of gives you a bit of a backstop. You know as well as what I do that EAP does not pay you what you deserve. So if a counselor's rate, for instance, is like 200, 240 for the hour, EAPs, the most you're going to get with GST is $132. So it's not giving you and they're not long term either, because most EAP people who go through EAP, their companies decide whether they get 4 sessions. Some companies only allow their staff to get 2 sessions. You can ask for further, but most times it's knocked back. So where is the progression on EAP counselling? As I said, yes, in times of need, where clients aren't walking the door, EAP clients are good to rely on, because you'll always get a call saying, can you take this person on? They're entitled to 4 sessions. So at least you're getting paid for 4 sessions. But you're never getting paid exactly what you're worth. So if they are your backstop, then have them as your backstop, but start promoting yourself as a coach. Because when you can coach someone, even with a bit of counselling, if you can coach someone out of darkness to become the best version of themselves, it's a bit of both, right? It's still a bit of counselling, and people know you as that, but it's coaching them and pushing them in the right direction so they can achieve their goals. They can achieve what they want. Some people in counselling will, they'll dump, but you don't have the opportunity to kind of go, well, we need to kind of flick this switch or do this, and this, because they're dumping all the time. So as a coach, you're saying, okay, that's going on in your life. We can work on this, but I need you, not necessarily saying the words of I need to kick you up the bum, but I need you to focus on this, because we need to get you to this point. So coaching, I think, is I think you've kind of sat that back where I think it still needs to be in the forefront. My own EAP counselling business that rivals the bigger ones. Okay, well, if you've got your own and you've taken on board companies, that's great. Are you getting what you deserve out of it? Are you getting complete satisfaction out of it? Because I do believe that your voice is being missed at the moment through coaching. Okay. Oh,
Wow.
nice thing from nice thing from that one.
That's all right. I got this.
Good, because that was a bit of a what the hell in my face. But yeah. So I just kind of want to know how you feel about that, Louise, because it's, if you're very good at 3, and again I'll say this with respect, when you're very good at 3, there's always some parts of the year where you focus on one more than the other 2. There's sometimes that you kind of go, do you know what? Right now, this is where my focus is, but because people need me for certain things, but don't let the other ones sit back. I just think you need to bring that forward a bit more. I just think your voice, because when you're very good at teaching and all that sort of stuff as well, and you're counselling, that coaching thing to me just seems to be sitting on the floor rather than sitting up on the chair, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So I hope that gives you some help, my love.
Thought. Yes. Perfect. Guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight, for all of your energy, and thank you so much for all that you do and all of your expertise and insight. It's amazing.
You're very welcome. It's always fun.
It is always fun. We never know where it's going to go.
No, and most times we end up with a few deep and meaningfuls, but sometimes spirit needs to tell their loved ones here on this realm certain things in a bit more detail so they totally understand.
That's right. That's right. Next week is the first week of November. I know, that's crazy. I'd like to say I'm organised, but there was this little moment in October where I moved that took a bit longer than we planned, and so I'm not really very organised.
It's my birthday next month.
Is it?
Oh,
21 again?
yes. Sorry?
21 again?
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It was a good year. I quite liked 25, to be honest. I had more of my stuff together at that point.
20. Do you know what? When you said 21, because you know what we were talking about earlier before we came on live, for my 21st, I actually went to Hawaii. That was the first time I went to Hawaii.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm going to probably end this live stream now. Oh. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. I'll be back on Monday for Monday Motivation, and I'm going to actually remember to do a few things next week and get my schedule.
So will I. I've got to remember to do more next week.
Yes.
And what date is my birthday for? I'll have to do a live with you when we get close to it.
Okay, let's do that.
I don't even know what day it falls on. Oh, it falls on a Thursday. Oh no, it doesn't. It falls on a Wednesday. Interesting.
We shall chat about that.
We shall.
Momento.
Someone's just said that their birthday is the 1st of November and then the big 33.
Happy birthday for
well
Monday.
Done to you. So Monday is going to be a great day for you. And double 3 is even going to be what I feel even a special day. I think there's a surprise coming for you. Oops, let the cat out of the bag on that one.
No more surprise. Guys, have a really great weekend. Be kind to yourselves and do something just for you. Have a great weekend. We'll speak to you later. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye, everyone. Thanks for joining.